All right, here I am again with another thing to say. Um, just because I was just now so inspired. Well, I was taking a dinner break. Um, so I was flipping through the YouTube and I kept running into this Job video, and I was like, well, I just read some of that, so I skipped it a couple times. But sometimes when things keep popping up, I was like, all right, I guess maybe I'm supposed to watch that. And I was supposed to watch that because, man, I needed to. Because even though, yes, I have this immense faith, and I just, I don't want to say that I don't question God, because I do all the time, like we talk. But I feel like every time lately when I'm like, I really need some inspiration, like I'm really tired, I really, don't know what's next. And sometimes you end up in those situations where you just have to trust God and have this faith, and especially, if he is telling you what to do and you're doing it and it doesn't seem like it's going anywhere. Especially in a really tough situation. It's like I keep running into these stories where people were faithful and they did what God said, and then like it's like obstacle after obstacle after obstacle. And that, I feel like that's kind of the phase that I'm in, or have been in. Things are looking up a little bit, but I needed to read this, and it reminds me of a time, let's see, how many years ago? It was probably like 8 years ago, something like that. Anyway, a little bit before that time. So I needed to move out of the apartment that I was in, and I was really upset because I had gotten my son like all brand new furniture for him and his bunk bed and his stuff. But it was, one of those situations where I was in court again all the time over things we really didn't need to go to court for. But we don't need to go back there. It was a horrible time. Anyway, it was very expensive, and I was trying really hard to not work in a restaurant, and I was making a lot less money, and was working on commission, which sometimes went well, but it was really difficult because I felt like no matter what I tried to do, it just went wrong, and I didn't have support from people, and it just went so wrong. And finally, I was so happy that it had been a struggle already dealing with like my faith, and every time I tried to come back to my faith, it was like getting beat up again by like, it's hard to do. And you'll find like, as long as if you're not doing what God wants you to do, then like you're fine, probably nobody's gonna bother you. But if you're trying to get right and really make that commitment, then the devil or opposition is going to get in your way. And it was so hard, and I was so excited because I found a place that I could afford, even though I had to go back to sharing a room with my son, and that was not the best situation, but it was better than no situation. And I was so excited because this was a Christian person, and I didn't have any friends that believed anything that I did, and I was kind of a mess because I was going through a lot. And I'm sure people that go through legal stuff, especially with child custody and visitation, child support and all that jazz, it's a lot. It's such a disaster for so many people, and that was so hard to go through and so expensive. And so I was kind of a mess, and I had not really any idea like what to do. I was just so excited that there was finally a person that maybe understood what I was talking about. And I don't want to say he was mean to me, because he wasn't mean, but he was very, he was really kind of snobby about it, and didn't want to help me personally. And I know it was really busy too, but it was also disappointing because I was like, man, okay, finally a person that understands what I'm trying to understand, and like that's no help. And you know, I'm sure I was a real pain in the ass back then. I still am. But anyway, basically the only thing he told me was I was so upset and like trying to understand like why things keep going wrong. And I was like, I've always been a really nice person, you know, not perfect. Like, I have definitely flaws, but never, ever, ever can I remember ever wanting to hurt anyone, not wanting to hurt their feelings. I've never wanted anyone to suffer. Like, I always try to do the right thing. And I was just so, like, bummed because so many bad things happen. And so he wasn't very kind about it, but he told me to go read the book of Job and then, like, complain. So I did. I was like, well, he probably knows better than I do. So I did exactly that. And yeah, it did offer me a lot of perspective. It didn't necessarily make me feel better the first time I read it. But I needed to. So basically, without talking for 100 years, Job is like perfect in the eyes of God, and God has blessed him like amazingly. And he has like translate to probably like millions of dollars and like a whole bunch of camels and sheep and whatever rich people had back then, and a big family, and he was happy and like a wonderful marriage. And then you know, Satan's like yeah, well, Job's only so good to you like because you spoil him, and he's so blessed. Like if it weren't that way, like he would definitely deny you. So God gives Satan permission to test Job. And so one by one, like his I don't think they got eaten. Whatever happened to all his like camels and sheep, they disappeared somehow. And then all his kids were in the same house, and like a tornado came and blew them all down, every single one of his children. And he was a good sport through all of this. And then he got sick. And then, like, he kept losing one thing after another, including his entire family. And then even though he had a perfect heart and he never cursed God and he was always grateful no matter what happened to him, then even his friends that came around that were hoity-toity and, you know, telling him that, you know, God, you know, people don't suffer this way unless they're sinners. And so, you know, then attacking his character, assuming that he must not be right. And there was no rhyme or reason. He didn't do anything to deserve all the disasters that he got and all the heartbreak. And even, you know, his wife eventually, you know, said, why doesn't he just curse God, that he'd be better off dead? And he kept his faith through all of it. And I'm like, I kind of need that a little bit of humbling, because I'm definitely like, I'm not that cool. I cry all the time about, you know, like how like I don't have any friends and like my family's not here and I miss my kid, and people keep invading my privacy. And then like, yeah, I need to be working more, but it's like at the point where I'm hesitant to even like look for jobs because I don't have any privacy. I feel like that's getting a little bit better. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but it definitely didn't. And you know, like, people are just mean and like mocking and getting into your stuff for no reason, you know, and there's no way that they would have any idea what I was working on or what I was doing unless they had invaded my privacy, you know, those little parts that were, you know, not obvious. Yes, they were. It's just awful what people do, and can be really discouraging when you think like, why? You know, and this is not the best neighborhood. I don't really want to live here anymore, especially not now. But it's just so much. And then like, I do have to recognize that I still do have a very comfortable situation with everything that I need. I need to figure out another bank account situation because I'm tired of people in my stuff, you know, but I'm so blessed to have, you know, parents that I don't really ask for a lot, never have, but we're very happy to help me out while I figure out how to like secure my privacy. I'm supposed to be working on this other thing, but I'm tired of people stealing my work. So, you know, it's tough. Like I'm not like a cybersecurity genius, you know, like I don't know how to do that. But then it's like pressure from like when God tells you what to do and you know what you're supposed to do and you're not really doing it because you can't figure out how. Like that's a lot of pressure too. It's a lot. And like, you know, backlash on, you know, and I feel like today, I know it sounds wacky, you know, I'm just not even gonna get into that, but I know what I'm supposed to be doing, and yes, I am doing it, but it's like I'm not maybe like it's not like he hands you a manual and says how to do it, so it's rough. But then I read something like Job and realize that like, you know, Job never cursed God in all of these struggles, and he didn't deserve any of it. You know, like I'm definitely not that good. You know, I might not intentionally want to hurt people, but I definitely have a sassy attitude sometimes. And I've, you know, not because I mean to, because we're just reactive people. People suck. And sometimes, like, it makes me mad. But, you know, not that mad. Like, I've seen other people get mad, and it's, like, not the way that I get mad. But, it just also, you know, made me feel really, really, really grateful. But then I'm like, is this like foreshadow? Like, are we going to be homeless next? Because that doesn't sound fun. I guess if that's what I'm doing, I will do it. I don't want to do that. Like, I don't think that's going to happen. But, yeah, I have a lot of space, you know, and a lot of stuff and a lot of things that have not been taken from me. And, I appreciate that gentle reminder to be grateful for what we do have, no matter how bad it gets. And also at the end of the story, you know, because even though Job, he had to go through like boils all over his body and was really sick and like really wanted to die, in the end, you know, God did heal him and restored everything. And not only restored him, he gave him double what he had in the first place. So it's tough to have that faith. And even if you don't have this faith, you know, if you believe in karma or whatever, you know, your good people go through stuff that they shouldn't have to go through. And sometimes you have to trust that there's a higher purpose for everything, and it's moving you through and preparing you for something much, much better. So that's all. I felt like I got a lesson, and I needed to share it because, also, I don't really have anybody else to talk to right now. So, thank you for your support. I hope that you will share this message if it means anything to you, or if you just want to show everyone how much support I need. That's cool too. I appreciate it. I'm gonna get back to work. Love you very much. Please somebody watch one of these videos all the way through. It would really help me. And even if you don't like it, you can just put the like thing, because I could use some success right now. That'd be so great. Thank you. Love you. Bye.